Can't hear you.
Yeah, see, that's what happens.
Oh.
I had myself on mute. So yeah, it's the Goose with the Cryptic Paranormal Show. Welcome back to another amazing episode. Um, so we got a really cool couple of guys that I got to work with a while back. Also friends with D Nice. Ghosts in the Studio Productions. We got Scott McCafferty and Rex Tracy. What's happening, guys? How are you doing tonight?
Doing well. I was definitely headbanging that intro because these are like stereo, like new headphones. So it's like I was definitely yes, I'm enjoying
Nice.
it now. I'm got the psych going on. So
I can't hear our intro.
It was hype as hell. I loved it.
Nice. Yeah,
We like it.
my little brother wrote that music, so it's
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun to play. People dig it.
But every once in a while, we get a message from Facebook that's like, "Hey, you're stealing this copyright information,"
Right.
and like,
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
he wrote it.
Right. I'm like, I always write him back. I'm like, I'm going to dispute this because my brother actually wrote it. I mean, I can give you the whatever you need from him. I mean, it's from a movie or something. I'm like, no, it's from our show. It's good.
Well, Facebook is weird. I once posted that I wanted to punch Monday mornings in the face, and then I got all these warnings that I was in trouble because I was threatening Monday mornings. It's like clearly no one at Facebook has ever had a job, like a real job.
Right. Or a sense of humor.
Yes.
Right. So this paranormal show, I met you guys ghost hunting, and I want to let the viewers know, like every comic book hero has its origin story. I'd love to hear yours. How you guys got into it, how you guys met, like how did a Ghost in the Studio Productions form?
Well, it started. Rex, I'm going to go first, and then we'll segue to you because it started before I met Rex.
Okay.
I actually was doing ghost hunting for 17, 18 years before I met Rex.
Oh, wow.
And it started off with my wife and I going out and doing it, and then she got too busy, couldn't do it, and then I've just been going through group after group after group, and I couldn't find decent people to actually ghost hunt with, like, reliably. And then eventually I met Rex at Madison Seminary, actually, of all places. And Rex, I'll let you tell the story because you told me you put on your schmooze voice to try to impress me. So I think he tells the story better than I do. But my origin story is, honestly, it's actually kind of boring. When I was a kid, Ghostbusters was brand new. I was like 2 years old when it came out, and I was obsessed. And so I always wanted to be a Ghostbuster, and this is the closest I can get without actually inventing proton packs, which I wish I could do. But I'm not smart enough. So I didn't have I know, wouldn't it? So I didn't have a paranormal experience when I was a kid. I actually didn't have it until I started going out and doing this. So again, my origin story is kind of boring.
That's okay.
But Rex, go ahead and tell them your story.
All right.
Oh gosh, I started ghost hunting in middle school. A lot of it was just kind of stumbling around in the dark with a recorder and cheap stuff I bought off of Amazon. Nice. I grew up watching Scooby-Doo, Courage the Cowardly Dog, so I was always kind of into the more horror side of things, really got into horror movies. And then I started booking Madison Seminary last minute because that's just kind of how I operated at the time.
Nice.
And
love it.
I started volunteering there a little bit, and on a rather unremarkable evening, I was walking around helping with the flashlight tours, and I seen Scott down in the whole room, and I started asking about the different things he was using, mostly because I wanted to schmooze and learn what real ghost hunting equipment looked like instead of my $25 night vision camera and my cell phone.
I was using the boot tube, wasn't I?
Yes, you were using the
device?
boot tube.
Yep.
Yes. And we kind of got chit-chatting. I was like, hey, man, if you ever want to team up, I do ghost hunting. I got stuff. I'd be very interested. Really sold my credibility higher than I should have. But it worked out because like 2 weeks later, Scott was like, hey, these people fell through going out to Oglace. If you want to come, meet me out there. So
did you meet him out there and unpack your bag? And he's like, this is the stuff you have?
a little PO, and I'm like, really? So once again, I'm doing I'm the LeBron James of the ghost hunting group. I'm like, my back hurts. I'm carrying everybody that goes with me.
That's funny.
But I actually owe Rex a huge thank you for that, because we got the Oglace Village, and the people I was going with, again, unreliable as they are, all of them backed out, like all 7 of them last minute. and we already
Wow.
paid all the money. So it's like, well, great. Now we're fucked. Sorry, I'm not sure if we're allowed
You're
to swear
fine.
like that.
Oh
I
yeah.
swear
Fuck
all the
yeah.
time.
You're
You're
fine.
All
You
right,
made
so
it 6
fucking what?
minutes, Scott. 6 minutes.
That's a record for me. I don't
That's
even have to
great.
put money into my swear jar like I had for my clients. But anyway, so I called him like literally last minute. He and Jarrett, who I also met that same night, were like, "Yeah, we can come out and we can ghost hunt," and we've been running together ever since. So
Nice.
we had a lot of fun.
Nice. Sage is on TikTok. He said you guys are troublemakers.
That's fair.
I think that's the pot calling the kettle black, though. Just saying.
Oh yeah,
Still-
if it's
still fair.
stage, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely fair. He's a good guy. So how did so your ghost hunting group, is that like just the two of you, or is that separate from the production side of it? Like,
So the production side, the ghost in the studio stuff, is something that I created because I always wanted to do. I'm a huge fan of film. I've always been like a huge fan of film. Always been a huge fan of horror movies myself. And I always wanted to do documentaries and eventually do my actual horror film. So I decided, you know what, when I started getting older, it's like, you know what, it's kind of like a now or never kind of thing. So it's like, I finally have some money banked. I finally have some things going. So I tried to create it. And then it was just like when you look for people to help you with things, everyone's always willing to be in front of the camera, but no one ever wants to help behind the camera, which is where the vast majority of the work is done. Like the vast majority. And I would have loved to have had that, but I didn't know you at the time yet. I was still that scuzzy customer that would show up every so often and annoy the hell out of you and Shelly. Like it wasn't like a full-blown friendship yet. But when I met Rex was like the first one that ever actually wanted to help behind the scenes, help find new places, found ways to improve things. Like the Oglays Village episode that we did when Rex first joined was like the first one where it's like I finally felt like I was ready to really try to make this into a real documentary, because I had been doing little short things before that and they all were awful, but I also never really put a full effort into it. That was the first one where I did, and it's just been self-taught ever since. So Rex is kind of like my right-hand man at this point. I consider him like my partner in crime.
Nice.
But we kind of combine that with the production stuff, but we want to do all sorts of stuff with it eventually. Like we've got other projects other than just ghost hunting that we're working on and talking about. We just haven't finalized what we want to do next.
Nice. So you guys are going to branch out a little bit in the paranormal field and do more than just ghost hunting. That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah, that's the goal long term.
So like, what do you guys, I mean, I know you don't have a plan. Are we talking Bigfoot? Are we talking UAPs? What are UFOs? What do you think?
Oh, I would love.
What are you into? Like, what are your interests?
Rex, you take the lead. Why don't you tell them about our big interest that you introduced me to?
So a couple of the big interests, obviously, like historical documentary for me has always been a very, very big thing.
You're being bashful. Tell them the real passion.
I want to go find Frogman.
Yeah, Frogman.
Nice. There you go.
I want to find Frogman.
One of the most ridiculous cryptid stories I've ever heard. I want to find this guy so bad.
Yeah.
So, like, the funny thing about the Frogman thing is I was out at ISS actually helping give tours during one of the cross-country events out there. And I was walking around, and this woman comes up, and she goes, "Oh, you do the ghost hunting?" I was like, "Oh, yeah." She's like, "Well, have you ever heard of Frogman?" And I deadpan look at this woman and go, "I ain't never heard of no Frogman before." And I was like, Jarrett was there, and he's like, "Rex, you said it like you were offended." And I was like, I didn't mean for it. And like she started talking about it, and I had to talk to someone else. I look away, look back, and she's gone. So
can that be the name of your documentary? I ain't never heard of no Frogman.
That'd be awesome.
On t-shirts.
Hey, if they can get away with snakes on a plane, we can get away with that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I love it.
I think it'd be great. Where was that was at ISS that they said that?
Yes.
I thought it had something to do with that castle in like Loudonville or something.
Well, that's just where she asked me if I heard of Frogman.
Okay.
And I had never heard of him. The only video I found when I looked up Frogman was of some like two drunk guys, like blasted drunk driving around looking for Frogman. They're like, they got wands and they cast spells.
And instantly I'm thinking Super Mario. That's
Yes.
instantly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
They got the little wizard hat, little robe going on.
Yeah.
Like, shoot that like weird sparkly shit at you. Like,
Right.
but
That was-
aside from Frogman, we're looking at historical documentaries as well. We've got a couple places that actually have asked us to come in and film for them. We're just trying to figure out
Love
where, like, how to fit it into our schedule. Like,
Yeah.
And eventually we want to do some actual like feature, more fiction based stuff. But a lot of what we're doing is documentary based. But Frogman
I
will be a
love
lot of fun. And
I think it's great too, and I think that it has, a huge place in the paranormal because I think,
Oh yeah.
people need to pay attention to the places and what's haunting the buildings that they're at.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was MadCon. No, it was FCI Con. Heather Taddy actually said that she loves ghost hunting because it tricks people into being excited about history.
Mhm.
And I just thought that was such a cool take on it. I feel like the two could go hand in hand. If somebody's going to go to an investigation, they could watch your documentary on the place before they go.
well, and I agree. And I think if you're serious about ghost hunting, you have to be a fan of history because it's all that's
Right.
what it's all about.
Mhm.
It's like, and it's the
Right.
history that you don't learn about as much as you do
Yeah.
in school and everything else, because it's personal stories. And
Mhm.
you get attached to those stories, and you find different places have different ones that you get, like the hole in the floor at Madison. Like, I'm obsessed with that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
not a story you're going to hear anywhere else. It's like,
Right.
it's like specific for that place, and every place has something like that. And trying to deep dive that and research is a lot of fun for us.
Yeah. I totally agree. I was just talking to my son about that. We were talking about how history is like one of our favorite things now. Like we'll watch any documentary about history. If anybody's talking about it, we'll listen, whatever. But we were talking about how we hated history in school. We hated, social studies, all of those classes because it's not the same,
No,
but
not
when
at
I
all.
do a tour at Madison, my favorite was when it's 25 people on a tour. And this was when we were doing like the tours where we actually walk people through for an hour. 25 kids who had just come from a football game, still had the, shoe polish under their eyes, like totally
Mhm.
hyped up from this game. They were quiet as a mouse and listened to every single word I said as we walked through that building
Mhm.
because it's a different kind of history and it's exciting. I think it'd be cool.
I like social studies, okay?
You like social studies?
Well, it's
I like history all the way from the beginning. Didn't
Yeah.
matter what it was.
same.
Yeah, I loved history. I loved world
I hated
history,
it.
American history. I like even in college.
I'm more American history. I'm not much of a world history person.
Like even my world culture classes, like I took Japanese and Chinese culture and like for humanities classes in college, and I loved it because it was basically, I mean, it says culture, but it's basically the whole history of like the countries
Yeah.
and I think if you know the
Barely get our
history, like
culture.
you get a better appreciation for when you go to these places for a ghost hunt
Right.
because then it's just not about like I'm gonna find ghosts. I want to make sure the
Mhm.
paranormal exists.
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You're in a living history book. You're sitting there
sure.
like, and like like this the so and so of this building owned this place, and
Yeah.
you can imagine if you don't see them like physically in ghost form walking past you or talking to you, you could still kind of feel it and like visualize it because it happened, like it's real.
Right.
Mhm.
You're walking into a history.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yes.
that's what I love about it, is because it hits so much deeper. Like when you talk about the Underground Railroad, but you go to some of these places and you're actually in some of the very rooms these people were standing in. You can see what the
Mhm.
conditions would have been like.
Yes.
It's like
Oh,
in
yeah.
the middle of the summer. It's like in no air conditioning. It's like it's makes it so much easier to imagine and appreciate what they went through.
Right.
I say the same thing about going to the mental asylums all the time because I work in mental health. So I like to see what people would have went through, because all that evil and all those horrible things those people went through is what created what we have today. It's like, I think it's a responsibility in some level, like to really appreciate what you do, you got to understand where it came from and understand what the people that suffered went through to get to the point that we're at today, for that things can be so much better. And I love all that.
Yeah.
Speaking of
it's
history,
so
historical places, what's up, Darren? From
Darren.
the haunted
Darren gives
Licking
one of the
County
best
Jail.
tours in the entire
Oh,
state
yeah.
of Ohio if you ever want a good tour.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Absolutely.
I'm being
yeah, go-
serious.
I want another one. I got to miss the last couple. Or I had to miss the last
Yeah.
couple.
We'll get you down there again. I'm sure
I feel
Darren
like
can
he
hook
always
us
thinks
up.
I'm being sarcastic, but he really is a great tour guide. And
No, he
loves
is.
our
He really
No,
buildings
he
so much.
is.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't compliment people very often, so it's fair for us to assume that was sarcastic.
But he's a very good tour guide.
And plus, like being a tour guide in Ohio, like it really makes it sound like I'm like, oh, okay, Darren Smith.
I've never had a more. I've never seen a more moving tour guide though than Heisenberg himself.
Yeah.
I mean, so this room was it's storage, and then this room over here that was probably storage.
Probably.
Probably was.
I mean, at some point it all stored something.
What? I'm not gonna lie and just say, hey, in this room
Yeah.
was blah 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 blah. I was like, probably storage.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sage said it goes hand in hand with his Civil War history and his ghost hunting because I know he loves that area, which that's still like one of my bucket list places to be able to go and like walk around. Like I don't even want to take the like because I already kind of know the history because I'm like a Gettysburg like Civil War like one of the things I've always read about and watched. Like Denise said, like watching any kind of documentary that comes up on it. I've seen Ken Burns' Civil War documentary probably like 5-6 times, the whole thing over and over again.
Yeah.
But it's
there's always like a banjo or something or like a guitar in the background of that.
Dear Mary.
Dear Mary.
I think it's super important though. Like
the trip is rather wary.
Thanks. Hello, Darren. But remember when we went to freaking Franklin Castle? I always forget the name of it. Franklin Castle. You know, they told us on the tour that he was a German immigrant and he helped German immigrants. And it was a quiet night. We weren't getting a ton of stuff. And then I started using my Google Translate and I was asking questions in German instead. And we were getting more responses that way. Like people underestimate, like learn the history of the building before you go in.
They don't understand you.
Yes. My older brother actually pointed out something to me a while back because he went on a ghost hunt with me and Scott. He told me, he's like, when you go to some of these places, he said, try looking up what their dialect would have sounded like back then. You know, how they would have talked, slang, because a lot of the words we use, someone from the 1800s or early 1900s might not know.
Yeah.
Right.
So when I'm like explaining, like, you know, what we're doing with the cameras, I'm saying like, oh yeah, it's like a moving picture show.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. We call flashlights.
I always catch I always catch myself doing the same thing, like thinking about, well, if you touch that electronic device there in the middle of the floor, I'm like, like, they even know what the hell electric is? Like,
you're
was
talking
that
to people who have used candles the entire time, and you're telling them, touch this thing.
Now, let's not dumb them down. Let's give them some credit. they could have learned by now. So they have a part in this too, Denise. They have a part in this too.
Their part is, oh shit, not this device again.
Right, yeah.
I do think that locations, like, there are, like, when you go to a new place that, like, nobody's investigated before, it seems like they're like, what the fuck is that?
Yes, yes, you know, and usually they will say that. We will get that response through Spirit Box. What the fuck is that? Like, clear as day.
Or we get, like,
witchcraft.
Yes.
All the time. They call us witches all the time.
Yeah.
Sage is on TikTok and said, and the spirits attached to artifacts too, so you learn about them too just by owning relics. It's true.
We call that bringing friends home.
Zach's on TikTok.
What's up, Zach? Yo.
I still can't imagine living in an antique roadshow or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be super haunted or something.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know how I feel about that. I'm not going to lie.
Have you investigated like an antique shop? Would you feel weird doing that?
No, I would do it. I mean,
yeah.
We have. It's a lot. It's interesting because you can usually pinpoint if it's an object, you can usually find it. Because there are a lot of times they'll lead you to it.
But like, okay, so
I'd like to do an antique store.
Why are landfills not like the most haunted places in the world then?
They probably are.
How often are people walking
You're just not standing there because they're stinky.
Right. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
If you can plug your nose, you probably go find some ghosts and shit. Literally.
Oh my god.
And probably some bodies and body parts and
See, you solved the mystery all in one swoop.
Yeah, it's just because it's too stinky.
I mean, really though. Now I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna see if there's like workers there have experiences or something, but I don't know. And plus, like 90% of what I do is just because I want to know what's going to happen to me. I'm going to be honest.
Right.
I want to know that after I die, I could still come back, check on my kids, make sure my husband didn't get a new wife. Like, I want to make sure that I can do those things. The thought of being attached. Go ahead.
I was just say real quick, if he did date somebody else, how badly would you haunt him?
Oh, so bad. But he told me, good thing I don't believe in ghosts.
Well, we all know that doesn't matter.
Right.
But you got to have some shit planned. We don't have to bring it up.
Here, yeah. If I ever get sick, I'm gonna strategically place things around my house that will be easy for me to knock over when he's walking by. Just pull the nails out a little bit of my paintings.
I always tell Kate, I go, this is where you're gonna see me standing.
Nice.
And it's right up against the fireplace and mirror.
Nice.
Well, I'll probably be just like I am in life and just help my wife find the stuff that she loses constantly, like her phone and her purse, and cool. Where is it? She's not looking. I'll just pick it up and put it right on her chair that she sits in every day.
I had a ghost that did that at one of my houses. It was pretty cool.
I'm not telling the story again, but you guys know about my video camera. I lost the damn thing for 2 years. Found it sitting right on top of my gear bag.
Right on.
2 years later.
I mean, that's cool that they found it for you, but also, who took it? They probably took it.
Right.
Too.
Yeah.
What's that called?
You can't forget.
I'm if you're gonna take it, at least record yourself and give me something.
Well, that's the thing is you're giving them all this credit. The whole time they could have been a dick about it.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go. Now you can have it. We're bored.
Should have shot some footage.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they created a problem.
How to turn it on.
Yep.
We did, but then we erased it before we gave it back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just ghost ass on there. They're mooning the camera and stuff.
Ghost gone wild.
Right. But yeah, anyways.
A ghost doing the Buffalo Bill dance.
Oh my god.
After hours ghost hunting.
But the point was, I think that it would be fucking terrible to be attached to something for eternity. I hope that that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
But do you know it though?
No.
Because like you said, would you know that?
Ooh, I hope not. I don't know.
I guess you'll find out.
I don't think you would.
I don't want to find out. I don't want to be attached.
You have something that you're attached. You have to have something that you feel that emotionally strong with to attach to anyway. So if you don't have an object like that, then I wouldn't worry about it.
That's true.
Well, I think your energy can separate too after you pass. I mean, it could be a little bit here, you could be over here, you could be in the house, you could be attached to some object that your son has in his house. You know what I mean? I think it could be multiple places.
Oh, if you got attached to a coin collection, imagine how much fun you could have. How many people you could fuck with? You could possibly dozens of people at once. It'd be awesome.
You could be everywhere. Yeah.
Exactly.
What if you got attached to a cell phone?
You'd be
absolutely. I already have two teenagers that are attached to their cell phone. I don't.
No, that'd be different.
Listen, if we died today, that's the one thing that we treasure the most that we would be attached to. You're absolutely right, Heisenberg.
Yep.
What is my Wi-Fi? I keep saying boo.
Yeah.
I'm sending you memes from beyond the grave.
Bluetooth? What the hell does that mean?
Oh my god! Stop it, dad joke.
I'm sorry. If I were a ghost, I'd fuck with everybody all the time. That's stuff I would do.
I'm honestly sad that doesn't happen more often. There has to be rules against it because I feel like that's what everyone I know says they would do, but it doesn't happen.
You get up there, they're like,
yeah.
And you're like,
yeah,
this is bullshit, but you can't flip the table because they keep going through it.
Right.
Keep falling through the floor. God damn it.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite videos.
What's the point of being dead then?
You guys remember the video where the ladies are pretending to be ghosts? It's like a filter, obviously. And they're see-through and they're like, watch this. Murder. And then they just like are giggling to each other. And then they go, hang on. Am I dead? Like this whole video. That's what I imagine the afterlife being like. Especially like if Shelly and I died and we were both at Madison together. Oh my God, you guys are screwed. We're just never gonna get a serious answer out of us.
I know. I would just go for the
right,
joy.
it'd be funny.
Yeah, it would.
You guys would get sick of it too. You'd stop performing eventually, just like all the other ghosts. I get asked the same stupid questions over and over again.
No, they would stop performing. That's when they'd get sassy.
Yeah. Right.
Stop asking us the same fucking questions.
Hear a lot of shut up, bitch! Shut up, bitch! Shut up, bitch!
Scott and Rex are the ones that I was with when I told a guest to shut up.
That was so cool.
Oh, really?
That was awesome.
So
I applauded you for that.
You can tell the story, Scott.
All right, so we're in the whole room at Madison, and we have a thing whenever we go up there. Denise has to come down with us, and we have to do Estes sessions down there because obsessed with the mystery of what happened down there just as much as we are.
We're so close.
There's this kid. I don't want to say guy. I think it was probably more of a kid, like a teenager, and his buddy were following us around for like most of the night because they see you've got the cool gear, so they want to follow you around. And he comes in and he's just motorbox, won't stop asking questions. And Denise just turns to him like with all serious look in her face, says, look, you're going to be in here. You're going to shut up and you're going to stay quiet and you're not going to interrupt. Got it?
Yeah.
I mean, you could hear a flea fart after that. All of us were scared to talk after that because we
don't
see that out here very often. Well, then he left like 2 minutes later too, didn't he?
Well, he took the hint.
Yes, he did. And it was awesome. Oh, it was great.
Listen, every time we go in there, there's always somebody that comes in and is asking stupid questions. Like, we have a goal. We have a mystery to solve. We are trying to ask very specific questions. And then I swear it's like something paranormal because every single time somebody will come in and they'll be like, what's your favorite color? And I'm like, are you...
But it's
not just that. It's the timing of when they do it. How did you die? I was choked. Okay, who was the person that killed you? It was. What's your favorite ice cream color? Like, wait, bitch, the timing, not now. Shut up. Every time. So she preemptively shut that shit down, and it was perfect. I loved it.
Yeah.
It's when D Nice becomes D Unit.
Beautiful.
That's right. It was definitely D Unit that night because it was. I'm not having it. I feel like every time we get so close, close to getting answers, and I hate when people ruin it. And it's a huge building.
About ice cream. Damn.
Go somewhere else.
Right.
I'm never going in that room with Denise because I'm afraid I'll say something wrong and she'll be.
You'll be fine.
My stomach will growl and she'll just start wailing.
Like, you're no longer welcome. Get out.
Get out.
It was funny though. It's a good time.
It was a very good time. Usually we luck out. Usually if we get people following us around, they're pretty respectful. But every so often you get those ones that, no.
Yeah. And like normally I'm okay with it. Normally I'm like nice about it because I understand people are just excited. Maybe it's their first ghost hunt, whatever.
Yeah.
But this visit was right after one where this woman would not stop. And she was like cutting off answers and we were getting so many good responses, and then she walks in and just immediately is like asking the most ridiculous things, like,
what kind of cake do you like?
They would say something about like, we're like, where's your body buried? And the Estes response would be water, and she'd be like, are you thirsty? And I'm like, oh my god. What?
Hey, it makes sense.
No, not if you pay attention to the questions that are being asked.
See, I ain't going in that fucking room with Denise, man. I tell you right now, man. There's no joking around in that fucking room, man. I'll stay up on the next floor up.
Yeah.
That's why I stay so quiet when I investigate with her. I'm just like, let her do her thing. Just
I do like to lead.
I really do want to know what kind of ice cream you like, for real.
Yeah.
Like,
could you just whisper in this recorder because I can't ask you out loud? Denise will get mad.
I'm not allowed to ask you these questions.
Not when you're about to reveal the identity of the murderer. That is not the time to talk about. Imagine watching a movie and all of a sudden that scene just stops. Like,
yeah,
about to do the awesome reveal, and now we're into like a fucking Ben and Jerry's commercial. It's like, are you kidding me? Unless Ben and Jerry have a homicidal tendency, I don't care now. Like,
unless it was either Ben or Jerry that murdered you,
right?
We don't need to know.
And what flavor did?
Yeah, Rocky Road better be where you're buried.
Right. It's so frustrating.
What state is mint chocolate chip in?
Yeah. Sharp-sided Paranormal said, yes, the ghost is thirsty. Yeah. Right. We're thinking like, oh, okay, your body's at Lake Erie. Got it. You know, that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Moose tracks.
Moose tracks. Is that how you died?
Right. I remember leading a couple ghost hunts, like public ghost hunts, where people are just asking. It's either you're trying to get them to be involved, or they just won't shut up. And like let's do an EVP session. Like literally, they're one question. Like there's no space in between their questions.
Yeah.
They're just rapid fire questions that have no correlation to each other. They're all just like whatever. I'm like, oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. Just I like good luck to you. I mean, have fun, listen to that recording back.
I usually tell people to wait, I say, okay, Goose is going to ask a question, and then Heisenberg, I want you to count to 60, and then you ask a question. You know what I mean? Like count in your head.
And you over there, just keep your mouth shut.
Oh my God, I was definitely not going in that fucking room, man. It's like school. Heisenberg, don't say anything. Count to 60 first.
If you ask a question at 58, you're out. You're gone.
Make sure you chew 20 times between each bite, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to balance wanting to get answers and wanting to help people.
Yeah, for sure. What is like one of the favorite places that you guys have investigated? Like, what was a game changer spot for you guys?
Go ahead, Rex. You've got
so
two
for
spots.
Me it was
you've got two spots. Go ahead.
Yes. For me, it really had to be the Hotel Conneaut.
Okay.
Out at Conneaut Lake Park. I've never felt connected to a location like I have that particular location. Enough so that I schmoozed with the owners, construction workers to get wood from there to have a fence box.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Very cool.
I worked out there for 7 years now doing the haunted attraction. And then when I actually got to go in and investigate at the hotel, I found myself very connected to the history as well as one of the spirits out there.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I have a friend. Her name's Angel Val. She's I think her mother or her grandmother worked there. So she has a real deep connection to the place. She's always like, we got to go. And that's like one of another bucket list place I need to get to.
It's fantastic.
It's not far.
No.
We actually got lucky. We got lucky. The first time we went there was in October, and then Rex started getting phone calls from the caretaker like 2 days before Christmas. They wanted us to come back out because things had started going off the chart since we had been there, and they wanted us to try to document it. And even our second trip was amazing. Like it was so much fun. It's such a fantastic place. It really is.
Nice. What do they do normally? Like, is it open to the public at all?
It's open if you rent a room, but you really can't ghost hunt there, especially now. Like it's under new ownership, and we're trying to work with the new owner to get in there and kind of figure something out as far as ghost hunting. But right now they're still under renovations, and he's a very by the season type person. Okay. So it's the winter season now, so it's Christmas and Valentine's Day. And then summer's gonna be 4th of July and stuff, and then come October. But we're definitely working on trying to get more ghost hunting going on out there.
I mean, it's like a summer town, right? I mean, or am I wrong?
It very much so used to be. I mean, they still have a lot of people that come out to the lake for like boating, fishing. But it used to be like a really big tourist town in Pennsylvania. I mean, at one point it was Pennsylvania's like epicenter for tourism.
That's what I thought too. I thought I remember like at least maybe it was probably under the old ownership they would shut down for the winter. Is that?
They still do.
That's what I'm saying. Open it up to ghost hunters in the wintertime.
It's been a very difficult sell to get the current owners to look at that, especially during renovations. It's been an ongoing conversation.
Because if anybody can make it happen, it's Rex. We'll just leave
yes.
The renovations they're not doing right now aren't like little renovations either. Like the work they've done in there, I've got to see some of the behind the scenes stuff. It is absolutely beautiful.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Even they did the lobby was gorgeous.
I think it's going to put like the Stanley to shame. The level of artistic design they're putting into this hotel.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
That's cool.
What's your other one?
Go stay there.
Oh, for me it was Paulding County Jail.
Nice.
Okay.
That was one that was just kind of strange for me because like even before we got there, like it just I always forget the word, Scott. What is it?
Synchronicities.
That one.
A lot of synchronicities for you there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, a lot. We even in the episode even went through and like documented all the different ones that he was having because it was absolutely mind-boggling how many he had.
That's crazy. Like before?
Yeah, before we even got there, some of the stuff we found out, like, I can't go into too much detail about it, but we actually stopped at like a local restaurant, and one of the waitresses there was related to one of the individuals that passed away like at the prison.
Wow.
And just like her story talking to us was very like lined up into that perfectly.
That's so crazy.
What was funny about that though is when she gave us permission to try to contact his spirit in case he was there. When we got there and we were doing the tour, the lady who told us the tour told us about this guy's ghost and then said the family has like a huge issue if you use his name or have anything. And Rex and I are sitting there. It's like we literally talked to one of his family members just a couple hours ago. So it's like that's one of the reasons like we're not sure what the legality is of that, so we can't tell the full story. But it's like that's just how crazy it was. It's like she brought the same guy up. What are the odds we're going to run into that person?
And that they brought up the family. You know, like I've never talked about a ghost family. So it is that is crazy.
Yeah, it was even to the point like where one of the spirits there, like I share the exact same last name with them.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And then another connection to another individual that has the same last name as somebody you just talked to, who also had the same profession as the person that used to work in the jail.
Yes,
like that's those like the type of synchronicities we were running into, and there had to have been close to a dozen. Like it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts.
That's so crazy.
See, that's the kind of stuff. That's the kind of stories I like to hear.
Yeah.
Well, I met, or it was a game changer because I got scratched or I got tugged.
Right.
I mean,
right.
The synchronicities thing. That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
so what about you, Scott? Do you have any certain spots that kind of change things for you?
Well, I did get scratched at one.
Scratch is cool. I mean, it's still awesome, but
no, that's not why. That's not the place, though. For me, it's the Oglaze Village. It's the weirdest thing. So I am extremely skeptical of people that claim to be psychics or have psychic powers. Like I believe in being sensitive. I believe in like a little bit of mediumship. But when it comes to like flat out like psychics, I've never met one that I believed ever. Well-intentioned or not, that's open to debate. But the first time I was there was the first time I ever did an Estes session, and I had this weird vision in my head that I talk about in the episode. So we just recently went back for a follow-up episode, and something else really weird happened there to the point where my name was getting called out. I was given a name of a person. I was told where that person roughly died. I was told they wanted to talk to me specifically, but they wouldn't say why. And these are coming like We did one Estes session. We had a couple new guys that came with us because they're helping us film. They recently joined the team. Shout out Justin and Jarrett. This was Justin's first ghost hunt. So Rex and I noticed in the one cabin we were getting they were getting more responses when he and I weren't in the room, because we noticed we were seeing shadow figures running around outside, and we spent the entire night like chasing something around the fucking the property.
Wow.
Like you can see it, and we believe we even caught it in one frame of our video that we're still trying to like we're all debating on what it actually is or if it is a ghost or not. But it's definitely weird, and it's in the same location as a lot of the shit we were seeing. So after he and I leave, Jarrett's under doing the Estes, and he starts talking about how whoever's talking to him wants to talk to Scott. So Justin leaves to go out to the car to get us, and leaves Jarrett by himself, and he's blindfolded, he can't see. And as soon as he leaves, Jarrett's like, "Oh no, they're all gone now." So it's like, okay, well, clearly something knows that they're all gone now. Yeah. And then when I came back in, it said, "Come find me. You know where to go to contact me, and you know what to do." Well, The place I was having the vision and the weird stuff happen was in the schoolhouse, because that's what happened the first time I was there. So we went over to the schoolhouse, and we had, Rex, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the creepiest fucking Estes session we've ever done.
Yes.
Like that was watching that back, because I was the one who went under for that one. Mm-hmm. And then we then decided, because it was trying to tell us where to go. So we got in the car and we did a roaming Estes. So I'm sitting in the back of a truck, blindfolded, still doing the Estes. And I'm telling these guys where to go, driving on the property. And we drove to a specific spot in the field, which is now an active gun range, where also there's Bigfoot sightings, which we were also excited about.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
And we believe that we actually saw strange lights going in the woods, which we got on camera. There's nothing back there. It's just woods. Like you're in the middle of farm country. Mm-hmm. And it was like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's hot or cold as hell outside. So it's not anybody roaming around. Right. So it's like, for me, there's something there, and I don't know if it's native to one of the buildings. I don't know if it's native to the property, but something there is obviously trying to get my attention specifically, and I want to know why. And I haven't been able to find that answer yet.
Yeah.
But it's twice now where I had just an experience that I can't explain. And when I say like an experience, I mean, I actually like clear as day. It's like I'm sitting there watching this whole scene play out. Like I'm a spectator, and I've never had that experience before. So I don't know if psychics are legit and they're true. I don't know if that's how they experience it or not, but I don't know if it's my imagination fucking with me, but I've done dozens and dozens of Estes sessions. I've never had that happen anywhere else other than Oglaze. Oglaze is the only place that has ever happened, and now it's happened twice.
Yeah. Wow.
And then what's also interesting is, and Denise, you were there for that, we went and did the Lake County Historical Society a few weeks back, and they have a painting in one of the rooms that looks just like the lady I saw in my vision.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm not sure who it is. Like we didn't find anybody who was there who can answer the question as to who this lady was supposed to be. So it's just like a really weird like connection. I don't know. I don't even know if there is a connection, but look just like her.
Right.
It's a black and white photo, so I couldn't tell the color. But sorry.
Had you been to the Historical Society before?
No. I had heard about it, but I didn't know it was the Historical Society building. I was always, the people who told me to check it out always refer to it as the old poorhouse. I didn't know it was the same building until you invited us out for that event to come and like teach people how to ghost hunt, because that was the night that I saw the picture. And then when we went back to private ghost hunt, that's when we we need to investigate the hell out of this now that we don't. We're not trying to teach people, now we can actually investigate.
Yeah.
And that's where we
that was pretty wild too. That was wild.
I haven't even watched that back yet, so I haven't even seen it.
It was good.
Agreed.
It was good.
And I guess to kind of. Oops, sorry, Denise.
No, go ahead, Rex.
I was going to say, to kind of add, Conneaut Lake for me, something out there too. Not only was it the history, but I had a Estes session we did out there the first time, and same like Scott, I've never gotten like visions or any kind of vibes or like psychic stuff like that I can be like concrete, like, oh, this was psychic phenomena.
Oh shit, you're right, in the pool room. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so downstairs in the pool room, we're doing this Estes, and they started hearing like knocking, and I'm like, oh, I'm over here. And I started describing to them like a bellboy or like a bellhop from like the 1920s, 30s, like the dark green pants, the gold buttons, the like stripes. And in the vision he was pointing. So I like pointed over to where he was pointing, and that's where they were hearing these bangs and stuff downstairs in this pool.
Wow.
But that's not all, Rex. You were under, so you didn't see this. There were motion sensor lights that were right outside that door, and as soon as you pointed, the lights turned on, like outside. So it was just like the creepiest timing.
Wow.
And since then, like I've told Scott about this, and I mentioned it on our podcast, and it's really the only other time I've addressed it. This bellboy, I've had a recurring dream where he's brought me a key. And it happens now like once, twice, 3 times a month even.
Wow.
I just see this bellboy and he's trying to give me a key. I can't get him to say anything. But the creepier part is when I was getting my Fent box made, it was actually my relatives were out there doing the flooring. And they were up in this room and a key dropped down. They have no clue where it came from. They brought me a key to the hotel. So on my Fent box, the one face is a key to the hotel.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Do you think it's the same? Or do you think it was like symbolism?
I see, that's the part I don't know, because the key's been different. Like I told Scott, like originally it's looked like just a regular key. Sometimes it looks like the old like metal cast iron keys.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I think it's symbolism, but like I've even done like remote viewings with Kathy, and I've contacted this bellboy and seen this room out here, and it's just, I'm very invested because I know he's trying to show me something. I just don't know what that something is.
Yeah.
We also got to a point, and this is part of the reason why we're fighting to get back in there so much, is not only do we have the room where we supposedly know something is, but we also, from these visions, get the idea of where it's actually the item that we're supposed to find. We have like a rough idea in the room where it's supposed to be. And like now that they're renovating is the perfect time to go in there and try to check it. So that's part of the reason why we're constantly trying to get in there.
Well, and I'm pretty good friends with the caretaker out there, and he told me like, hey, we ripped this stuff up in the room you told me, and there is something like on the floor where I described from this remote vision I had.
Wow.
And he's like, I'll give you a call when we're in that room.
Oh, good.
And it's just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's because now it's been, over a year in the making.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Can people see that on video? Like, do you guys?
Yeah.
They can see so with Oglaze, we're working on that episode right now. The 2 Conneaut episodes that we did are up on our YouTube channel, Echoes the Studio Productions. But we plan on doing some follow-up stuff because a lot of things Rex is describing started happening after the second time we were there.
Wow.
So that's one of the, once we get back in there, we're going to do we have like a series planned to kind of like go through everything, because Rex's experience is something that I've never seen or heard before, and it's fucking amazing. And I'm somewhat jealous, not gonna lie, little jelly over here. But it's definitely something that I want to help him explore as much as humanly possible, because that's, I mean, you don't get opportunities like that very often. You don't get a strong attachment like that. Like, I don't know. There's something definitely that he's supposed to find.
That's so cool.
You guys got to keep us updated.
Yeah. And we've been doing our due diligence. Like when we did the thing with Kathy, we recorded that. I've done a couple like spirit box sessions here with the box, recorded those. So like you were saying, eventually this is something we're going to release in like a full series.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
That's one of the 3 different documentaries that we're kicking around right now and working on.
Nice.
Oh, that's it? Just 3?
3 that are not paranormal investigations.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So we're doing on top of those 3 while working full-time jobs and everything else. So
yeah,
it makes me tired just thinking about it.
Right?
Oh, it's so much fun though. Like I live for it. I do. I have so much fun.
I have fun doing the investigation, but I can't imagine like working after that.
Yeah. Oh.
Right.
Well, see, we've been very fortunate. That's actually why we brought on those 2 other guys Scott was talking about. They've been a very big help, because before it was pretty much me and Scott, doing the investigating, then doing all the footage review, mostly Scott, because I'm terrible about that.
So to give you an idea of our setup, I usually run before recently. I would run up to like 5 or 6 different static cameras on top of our handheld stuff. So before Rex joined, we would get about between 60 and 80 hours worth of footage, and I watched it all back myself. So it took forever to put things together.
Yes.
Then when he joined up, he took some of the load off, and now that the other two have joined us, and Justin's girlfriend's actually been doing a lot of stuff. She's volunteered to watch a lot of the static cam footage, and she's been a huge help. So we're getting through things a lot faster because now we've got like 4 people watching it, so it's not just one person.
Nice.
Oh my god. You want to talk about boring watching static camera footage? Holy fuck!
Right?
Yeah. So, like, do you guys all watch the same thing, or do you break it up? Like,
we break it up. We break it up, and then we have ongoing spreadsheets where everybody will write in like times of anything that's remotely weird, and then Rex and I will go back and watch it and verify if we got something or. A lot of times we get like weird noises. It's bats, it's animals moving around. Like you can kind of hear them, but every so often you get shit you can't explain. And I mean, it just takes one like two second clip out of like 12 hours of footage,
right?
For kind of what you're digging for.
Yeah, and it makes that camera worth it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's why I keep running them. Like I used to do the DVR setup and everything, but as a one guy doing it because I never had reliable partners. That never even wanted to learn it, let alone I could actually trust them to do it. So it's like we went just straight up to just little camcorders thrown on a tripod and just go. Like we'll watch it later because it's like I've got to cut out setup time because it's taking 3 hours to get set up. Well, most places only give you 8 hours. Like
another cool thing you can catch. Oh, sorry again.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say another cool thing you can catch on your static cameras is people messing with your REM pods and shaking your equipment trying to figure out what it is.
Yes, that happened.
Yeah. That's cool.
At Lake County Historical Society that happened.
What?
Oh, really?
Yes. So the people who let us into the Lake Historical Society were hanging out that night, and they decided while we were off doing stuff that they were going to go into one of the back areas investigating the old infirmary, and they played with the Boo Buddy, and they played with a REM pod.
Oh my god!
Not sure what it was. Awesome. Where did this come from? And keep in mind, there's a camera on a tripod that's literally 4.5 feet tall. So it's not like it's fucking subtle what what's going on here. What's this thing shaking the little cat ball? It's like, are you fucking kidding me? I got it all on camera. It's funny. I mean, it's not like they broke anything, thank God, but it was just so funny. Really
good laugh.
They even go like, oh shit.
You catch a lot of things when people don't realize there's a 4 foot tall camera there watching them.
Right.
Okay, big shot.
Yeah. About me when they don't realize they got a live microphone on them.
Oh my god.
That's happened a couple times.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Heisenberg has a question for you.
You guys have anything you need to plug?
We do. You can always. The biggest thing is actually our YouTube channel, Ghost Studio Productions. That's where we pretty much post everything. We also have a Patreon underneath the same name. Anything that we raise from Patreon, 100% of it goes back into doing ghost hunts, equipment, stuff like that, because it gets very, very expensive.
Yeah.
We got very fortunate last year. We were able to do a Kickstarter and raise some funds to do a couple episodes, and then some very generous people donated a couple ghost hunts to us. Our goal is to try to do a new one every month and have a new episode every month. And we got very fortunate. Last year was the first time we were able to actually almost hit that goal. I think we got 10 out of 12 months we were able to film. In some cases, we had to go out and do like 3 or 4 episodes back to back, like film back to back to back and back to back nights. But even just following us, watching us on YouTube, that's a huge help. We also are on Facebook as well, Ghost in Studio Productions. Feel free to follow that. We try to post little behind the scenes vignettes and stuff like that, try to make some fun things. That's pretty much it that we have right now. Not really
TikTok.
a ton. Oh, and TikTok. I'm sorry. I'm not. Rex runs the TikTok because I'm old and fat and don't get TikTok. I'm old school YouTube. So Rex is part of those young newfangled things. So
Scott, you also send messages on Steam and not Discord.
You're the only one that has a problem with that. You are literally the only person I know that has a problem with that.
It's all right. I couldn't figure out Discord either. So,
well, we do have a Discord now that you mention it. Rex, you run that too. What's the Discord name?
A Ghost in the Studio Productions. It is a
perfect. There we go.
Exclusive Discord for our Patreons.
Got it.
Goose, do you have their logo? Did you put it up?
Oh, I didn't have it downloaded. No, I did not.
Oh, I thought it sent to you.
Oh,
Did you?
Goose. Do I need to yell at Goose or Scott?
No, it's definitely Goose.
I was gonna say I can yell at Scott
me.
anytime I want.
You can yell at both of them.
My getting quieter right now is in no way related to this conversation whatsoever. my sheepish quietness looking down.
Hey, even the ghost agrees Scott has a punchable face.
Shut up. You're awfully low on the food chain to be mouthing off like that, Mr. Rex.
Oh, I know.
Here we go. Maybe.
You'll find the back of your hand displeasing.
That's not it. There it is.
There you go.
Ah, there it is. Look at that beautiful space.
I assume it's the same for
Yes.
So make sure you guys are looking for that logo.
Yeah, if you see that face, you're in the right place.
Cool.
I'm a poet and didn't even know it.
Awesome. Well, it's about that time, guys. Thank you so much for coming on. Dude, I hope I get to work with you guys again here shortly because it had a blast helping you at the public ghost hunt. So I'd like to get to know you guys in a more private investigation type atmosphere.
Yeah, where you don't have to entertain people.
Yeah, you don't have to hey, look at those, look at all of our equipment. No. Let's make these.
I never try to entertain people.
True. We know. Oh, we know.
Heisenberg, you are a constant source of entertainment.
Right? Try.
Just looking at you brings a smile to all of our faces.
Yeah, I was told to ask you about baloney for some reason. I'm not sure what that's all about.
Was it Holly?
Had to be.
No, I just remember one of the MadCons, they were trying to raise funds to get you to try to eat some deli sandwiches.
We raised a lot of money.
$600.
I know. That was very entertaining.
Over $500.
I think it was more than that by the end of the by at least 100 or something like that. Yeah. But
get this chance to eat a bologna sandwich. We raised over $500. Yeah.
Right. That many people wanted to see him suffer.
Yeah.
So see, you're very entertaining.
Yeah.
$500 worth of entertainment.
The last bologna sandwich.
He's willing to give his all for this show and for
charity.
For charity. Absolutely.
Yes. There's no telling what I'll do for this show. I just put myself out there so much.
Yeah, I noticed that you're wearing a hat today, which is not cool. Listen, Scott and Rex, I'm going to tell you guys about our new merch that I'm going to make. Okay?
Okay.
People are always talking about how Heisenberg's hair is so perfect, and it's like a Disney prince hair. So I'm going to make
Nobody says that.
I'm going to make little handheld mirrors that have Heisenberg's hair on it so that you could hold the mirror up and then you would have Heisenberg's hair. And he doesn't like that idea.
I think it'd be a great idea.
I know.
You got to steer into that.
Amazing.
Look at it. Oh my God.
You got hat head right now. I mean, that doesn't count.
Still phenomenal.
It still manages to maintain its shape though.
Right? It's perfect.
Now it's like a cool anime hairdo.
Yeah.
And he's gonna get really ridiculously big eyes and just scream every 5 seconds. And boom, you're ready. Yeah, there you go. And now a bunch of flashing colors behind you and different poses of you screaming.
Perfect.
You're anime ready.
Make it look like you're moving fast. Yeah, it's done.
Well, awesome. Thank you very much for having us on.
Thank you.
We definitely have to
absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, guys. It was a good time.
You bet.
Yeah, it's fun.
And thank you, Crypto Heads, for tuning in. Thanks to all of our new TikTok crowd. We enjoy having you on. It's a really cool new platform that we're spreading out to. Hopefully it sticks around.
Hurry and throw some likes in there. Put some hearts on it.
Throw some likes.
Before we need to do. Tap the screen a bunch of times.
We'll make Rex
how do the kids say it? How the kids say like and subscribe, or is that's for YouTube, isn't it? Hit that bell on the YouTube. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, because we are on YouTube as well. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much. We love you.
Bitches.
What's that?
Nothing.
Rex will drown puppies if you don't like the show. I'm just saying.
Oh,
hey.
Rex is the bad guy. Don't look at me. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. right. Well, next time we have Scott on. All right, we appreciate you guys. Crypto heads, we'll spook you later. We love you. Have a great weekend.
And in the meantime, don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole. We love you guys.
We'll see you next week.
Next week.